I love my visits to North Carolina because I get to visit my family, but also I get to eat some really good barbecue pork. And North Carolinians know how to make it. They even have two main styles. There's the Eastern style and the Lexington style. I don't care. I love to eat them both. But if you want to know more about this, why not call in an expert? We've got Morgan here, a native North Carolinian, to tell us all about barbecue pork.
Yes, and both sides of the state, thankfully, start with a delicious barbecue pork. So we're gonna try to make both of them happy.
Okay.
And we're gonna do it on a charcoal grill. So I have a 6-pound bone-in pork butt. I'm gonna season this with 3 tablespoons of salt. I'm using kosher salt, and then 1.5 tablespoons of pepper. So I'm using the pork butt to make both sides of the state happy. So on the eastern side of the state, they're known for cooking whole hogs. They're doing the whole pig. And then on the western side of the state, in Lexington, they're actually doing pork shoulders. Now, it's a little confusing, but the pork butt is cut from the pork shoulder.
Right.
So this is actually central to both barbecues.
Nice. So it's found in both.
Yes, exactly. And you can see, we're not skimping on our salt and pepper in this barbecue. So I'm gonna wrap this in plastic, and I'm gonna let it sit in the fridge for 18 to 24 hours. So that's gonna season the meat really well and keep it nice and juicy on the grill.
Sounds great.
Okay, Bridget, now that our pork has salted overnight, we're ready to turn to our grill.
Okay.
So I have the bottom vents completely open, and you can see I have 60 coals arranged beautifully around the bottom of the grill.
Like the letter C.
Yes, exactly. So this is called a charcoal snake. It's one of my favorite grilling techniques. I'm gonna do a little math with you here. I've got 60, I'm gonna add 60 more on top. So in Carolina, a lot of people are using these industrial smokers. They have a lot more real estate on such a big grill. This is a little tiny charcoal grill, and we love it for its mighty, but it's still small.
Right.
This grill setup allows you to get a long, slow cook without having to reload the grill, and allows you this control that those industrial smokers allow. So our snake is assembled.
Great.
And now we have our wood chunks. So I'm using hickory, which is what is very common in North Carolina.
Sure.
You often either find hickory or oak down there. So a little nod to my home state. One very important piece about the snake is that you have a gap here. So I'm leaving a 6-inch gap, and this is so I can light one side of it, and it'll actually burn this way without igniting both sides.
Right.
My little trick is, for me, it's about the length of like pinky to thumb when I do this, so you can kind of.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I'm gonna place these evenly, starting 4 inches from each end of the snake. And beautiful.
Lovely.
Lovely. And now I have a water pan. So, well, right now it's just a pan, but it will turn into a water pan when I add 4 cups of water. This is gonna help control the heat. It's gonna also add a lot of moisture, which will make very nice tender pork. Now it's time to light. I have 15 coals that I lit. You can tell they're ready when they're partly covered in ash. So you want one that has like a nice bit of gray on it, but it's not totally ashed over. And now I'm just gonna light one side of it. The thing you want to check for is that you don't want the gap to be closed.
Okay.
Because you don't want both sides of this going. So I still have a little bit of space there. Great. So we have our grill grates on top. We're gonna clean and oil them. So we have our pork butt here, and I'm gonna add it to the grill right over this water pan. And I'm gonna put it fat side down.
Okay.
So this just gives a little extra layer of insulation and protection so that the bottom of that meat's not gonna get charred. Now we just have to insert the probe and just try to find a spot in the middle of the meat. So this is one of my favorite pieces of barbecue equipment. It helps you so much maintain the actual temperature of the meat.
Sure.
It's really important when you're cooking that you close the grill and you don't open it. This probe prevents you from having to open the grill.
Lock it in.
Locked in. Okay, so the grill vents are open, just like the bottom. You can see it's directly over the gap in the snake. So all that smoke can encircle the meat, and it can come out over here, get a nice smoky pork.
Beautiful.
We have 4 to 5 hours. What we're really gonna go by is this probe.
Okay.
So we're gonna look for the thermometer to read 170 degrees, and that's when we know it's ready. It's not actually done, but it's ready for the next step.
Gotcha.
Okay, you can see it's at 171 degrees, and oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh my goodness.
I know. It's not done yet. I'm gonna pull it off.
Oh.
Just move it right over here. I'm gonna pull out this probe. So you can see the fat side's still down.
Yeah.
That's important. You
Okay.
wanna keep track of the fat side. So I'm gonna wrap it up. And you want it really nice and tight. Okay, and then I'm gonna make an X on this fat side so I don't lose track of that, just a little X. Okay, so we're almost ready to put this back on, but I have one more thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna reload the grill. So, I'm gonna take this off. So this is 2 quarts of charcoal. I'm just gonna add it 1/3 of the way around the grill, over where the gap was and a little bit into where it first lit.
Okay.
This is just a little extra insurance. So this may never even catch, but we've got another hour and a half to go.
Right.
So I just want to make sure I don't run out of coals. And you don't have to be as careful. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and like arrange every little one with this grill setup. This is gonna come back on. And I'm gonna put this back on, fat side down.
Okay.
Right over this water pan. X goes down, and then I'm gonna reinsert this probe, and I'm gonna just aim for the center of it. Okay, so this goes back on. We're gonna let it go another hour to an hour and a half, but really what we're looking for is 200 degrees. All right, Bridget, we're at 200 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Smells delightful.
This smells incredible.
Let's pull this out. We have that handy fat marker. We're gonna turn it fat side up, and all those juices are just gonna drip down and coat the pork while it rests.
Beautiful.
Speaking of, we do need to let it rest an hour and a half, so let's take it inside.
Essential. All right. We'll get you right back to the video. Check out Cook's Country's newest book, The Complete Cook's Country TV Show Cookbook. Over 16 seasons and more than 600 recipes are condensed into this cookbook, jam-packed with every recipe we feature on the show, plus stories, tips, and reviews. Go on the road with Cook's Country and tour the U.S. through food. Get inspired by dishes from restaurants, regions, and chefs all over America. All in this one convenient cookbook. To order your copy of the Complete Cook's Country TV Show Cookbook, scan the QR code or visit cookscountry.com to continue your Cook's Country journey.
Bridget, earlier you said that North Carolina has the 2 styles of barbecue, and we are gonna do a nod to that with 2 different sauces.
Oh, great.
Plus, they're super easy to put together.
Perfect.
So the first one is for Eastern North Carolina. Here I have a 1.5 cups of cider vinegar, and to this I'm gonna add a cup of Texas Pete hot sauce. Every time I use Texas Pete, I feel like I need to give a PSA. It is made in North Carolina. The name is just not branded right. And then I also have a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. I have 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. I have a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of pepper flakes.
Okay.
That's it. That's the recipe.
Yes.
You just whisk it together.
Right?
So that's Eastern. Let's go on down to Lexington.
Ooh, all right.
Okay, so here I have 2 cups of cider vinegar in a saucepan. To this, I'm gonna add a cup of ketchup. So you saw what Eastern was. It is very vinegary, it is intense. Now Lexington is still vinegary, but it's a little sweeter, a little bit thicker, a little more mellow.
I feel like that's the main difference, right?
This
Yeah,
is-
the tomato.
Yeah, exactly. The ketchup's the main difference. And then I also have 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic. I have 2 teaspoons of pepper, a 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt, and then a teaspoon of pepper flakes. It's still intense.
Yes, a little bit of heat in both.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna bring this to a boil over medium-high heat. So once this comes to a boil, I'm gonna reduce it to medium-low and let it simmer for 5 minutes. And then I'll just put it in a bowl and let it cool.
Sounds great.
Bridget, our pork has been rested an hour and a half. I've unwrapped it and I'm very excited for us to eat it. And our Lexington style sauce is fully cooled. Now that's not where our difference is in these styles of pork end. Another difference you find is how they're chopped. So on the western side of the state in Lexington, they actually chop it into 1-inch pieces, whereas on the eastern side of the state, they do a finer chop. In order to chop either, I need to remove this bone, and you actually can kind of usually just get it with your hands. It's so tender.
Yeah.
It just pops right out.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna cut this in half, right down the center. And in Lexington, usually it comes in bigger pieces, so we're talking like 1-inch chunks. You can actually order it if you want with extra outside brown, which means extra bark. And I'm like, can we do that in all barbecue? An option for
really.
extra bark. So it's so tender, you're not gonna get a perfect, exact, beautiful 1-inch. I mean, it kind of like shreds a little bit, but you still get these really nice pieces. And you want a slightly bigger chop here. So that is looking pretty good. Look at all that bark.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So this is 1/3 cup of sauce. Since I'm
right.
dividing it in half, I'm doing a 1/3 cup each. If you only made 1 sauce, you just want to do 2/3 cup for the whole thing. So Eastern North Carolina, they do a much finer chop. I love a cleaver. I feel like a lot of people don't use them because they're a little intimidated by them. You can kind of just do this really nice capping motion and it's very effective. Okay, and it was like 25 seconds to fully chopped pork. So I'm gonna put this in the bowl. This will be our Eastern.
All right, I'm gonna dress this, and then I should toss them both, right?
Yep.
All right, you got it.
So, of course, in both parts of the state, you can also get these as plates, but I figure for us, we'll make each other some sandwiches.
I love it.
Yeah, so just pile on that pork.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to make sure I get some of that gorgeous bark as well.
I know. Well, I feel like it's kind of nice when you end up eating the different sizes and the different chops together, because in that one you get these really nice pieces, and here you just get it sprinkled throughout, like little gifts of bark. One more difference here. We got some different slaws. So in Lexington, they're using a redder slaw with a finer chop. It's a ketchup-based slaw. On the eastern side of the state, they're using a mayo-based slaw. It's more of your like shreds of cabbage.
Yeah, I've seen this called red slaw and that called white slaw.
Yep. I feel like you do want to let the pork shine, so you don't need to go crazy with the slaw, but enough to accent it.
Oh, yeah.
To give a little chop on top. Okay. Bridget, can I trade you a sandwich?
Would love that.
Here you go. Okay. I'm going to add a little more sauce to these guys. And now we can eat.
All right, you're going for Lexington first.
I'm going to go for Lexington first.
Little chopped slaw.
I know, I grew up on the western side, so I feel like I got to at least go Lexington first. Yeah.
You know, I do love that little bit of sweetness the ketchup adds. And it's still tangy and bright.
When I feel like you get these nice pieces, so you actually really taste a ton of pork, and yet you get a really nice hunk of bark. Like my first bite was just like peppery bark in the most delightful way.
The pork itself, it's beautifully smoky. It's just enough. Like you said, it's got that peppery bark. Gorgeous.
Well, I know. That's one thing I love about this is being able to do it on a charcoal grill, because I don't have an industrial-sized smoker or even a regular smoker at home. But I love being able to make my little nod to North Carolina.
Yeah, really clever technique. All right, I'm going to have to move over to the eastern side.
I went to school at Chapel Hill, so I'm like, I got to do a little nod to that side, too.
Love it. Super vibrant. I mean, it is vinegary, but it cuts through the fatty pork so beautifully, seasons it all the way through.
For full episodes of your favorite cooking shows, head over to ATK's Full Episodes channel on YouTube. You can stream complete seasons of America's Test Kitchen, Cook's Country, and more. See you there.